It's another episode of Transformation with Kola Johnson, and here again I'm about to give you more thoughts around what I said the last time about ideas and execution, because we must realize that ideas are very good. Like I said the last time, ideas are good, but ideas in themselves does not bring fulfillment. It is execution that really matters. So today I want to build on that point that I made from the last time. And I will be talking about the steps or structures that you can take to become an execution person rather than just an idea person. Again, idea does not create transformation. Execution is what creates transformation. But execution has to be done within the confines of feasibility of the idea you have. It means your idea must go through certain stages before we begin to see the result of execution. So follow me as I bring greater points from this episode. Welcome to Transformation. So we must realize that execution is not just doing, execution is structure. So when I was talking about ideas, I know you just be saying that, okay, so what about those of us who are ready to actually carry out an idea, but execution is the problem? See, there's structure to execution, there are layers to execution, there are sequences to execution, and if you don't understand architectural execution, you will eventually not build according to the pattern that is in your heart. And it's very important, because when you have a design, it is important that there's a structure that your execution must follow, right? Because here's the truth that anchors everything I want to say. You see, ideas are refined on the table of execution. Hold that very fast. I'll say it again. Ideas are refined on the table of execution. Today, I want to speak to leaders who are willing to do, not just leaders who are, or dreamers who are just dreaming but are not starting. I've talked about that in my last episode, but I'm talking to leaders who are willing to start, who are stuck with, okay, I don't even know how to do this. See, what I'm about to share today will help you kickstart from where you are to where you're supposed to be in execution now. And you must realize that the reason you are stuck is not because you don't have idea. All right, I've settled that. The reason you are stuck is because nobody is giving you the execution architecture, and that is where I come. You've been told to start and you've been told to move, but nobody is showing you the blueprint. I mean, that's not fair, right? Think of a building, a house, and I mean that very literally. You don't just wake up one day and start saying, okay, put this brick upon this brick, and then you just gather materials and you just begin to do it. There are sequences. You have to plan, you have to do the sequencing, you have to do the design, you have to understand what you have to have executed it in your mind even before it starts, right? So that is what we want to tackle today. See it as a building, literally as a building. If you see it that way, I will tell you that that is the same way execution works. You need to layer execution, all right? And that's what I'm about to show you. Here, I want to talk about the execution framework. I'm not talking about something that is like a staircase where you just climb. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that is built in an agile manner. If you've heard the word agile, building agile, you understand that it is not this then this. It is not this then this. It is everything works together, and you can iterate and think about it, see what you've done, and come back to step one, go back to step two, step three. You can still come back to step two, correct and adjust. So see everything like a story building, whereby each story has its own foundation. It will help you. So this thing, I'm just trying to layer it for you to understand. Layer one is idea conception. See, everything starts here, right? This is the rough patch, the rough sheet you have, the unpolished form of your vision, and you need to put this in mind. See, here, idea is not meant to be complete. It's not meant to be perfect, but you can be honest. This is the honest part of this whole thing, right? And why it is important is you are simply giving form to something you've been carrying, and it's very important. So here's something I will tell you: don't romanticize this area, don't live in this area. It's the starting point and it's very rough. It does not have form, right? Now this is where you write it down, you give it thought, and you try to take it outside of your mind to reality. And that is the first layer. You are moving it from internal to external. Don't forget, internal to external. Number two is idea validation. This is a very important concept. This is where you ask the most important question every builder must ask. Is this thing very important? Is it a solution that is needed? This is not when you will ask that, is this interesting to me? Because we often make that mistake. We live in our head. No, this is where to live in reality. So is not to say that is this important to me, what will I gain from this? No, you are trying to create solution for the world. So how does this fit into the overall benefit of people around you? So how do you validate? You validate through research, asking people questions, getting feedback, trying to connect with reality, taking it off your head, external, then you are trying to see if it fits in, if it's indeed a solution that is needed. And so this is why I said these things overlap. You can validate while conceiving the idea. As the idea is coming, you can validate. And while you are validating, you can also conceive other ideas. Because what you're doing by validation is that you are trying to understand how it sounds to other people. You are trying to see if other people actually need the solution you are trying to build. And it is very important for us to really sit with this part. And the third layer is sequencing. This is where you design the execution pathway. And the crucial question to ask here is, what comes before what? What more must exist before this other thing exists? Think of, you want to build a car. You need to ask yourself, okay, what part comes before what part? Do you understand this now? You want to build something, you want to have a building, so you need to ask yourself, this is also called planning, all right? What comes before what? Again, you can conceive idea here, you can validate ideas in this part too. And while you are also trying to validate an idea, you can also be planning at the same time. Depend on the kind of idea you have in your mind, whether to build a product, whether to do a building, to do a project, to do an event, whatever it is, there are things that need to be put to the fore, all right? Part of it is planning or sequencing. So sequencing is how you turn a vision into a roadmap. It removes the overwhelm of the whole by giving you clarity for the next step. So this is the problem. Leaders who skip this process often find themselves rebuilding, and that's not a good process to come into again. And here the mistake is that foundation is messed up with, because you are wasting time, you are wasting resources, you are wasting relationship, you are wasting everything, and you now find yourself coming back to do it again. You don't have to dig the well again if the foundation is right. Here, what is most important is that you know your sequence and you give order to your operation. So number 4 is the idea testing, or what I call the MVP. MVP simply means minimum viable product. So here is where you build. You don't build the whole thing, but you build what is most significant, or what you can run the market with or test the market with. So what you are looking for is the smallest complete form of your idea. Again, the smallest complete form of your idea that you can place before people and you can ask them for feedback. So you are not asking if it's perfect. You are not asking if, oh, will this work? You have gone past that stage. You are not even asking if it's perfect. What you are asking is this a solution that can go into the market? And here the idea means reality for the first time. In the previous stage, you are still planning, it's still in your head, but you are executing anyway. But this place is where it becomes reality for the first time. You see how it works. For instance, you want to build a digital product. The first time you are seeing the idea is at the MVP stage, when the developers have done the product and all of those things. You can see how it works. That is the first testing stage. So So here, what you are seeking to do is to build with the customers in mind. You are trying to build with your audience in mind. You are trying to build with their mind. That is, you will go out, reiterate, you will get feedback, come back and add to it. It's better. It is also a way to build in an agile manner. That is, you are building, coming back, building, coming back. That way the market grows. The market suggests the way it wants you to grow, and it's just a clear way of building with people in mind, human-centered building. And the fifth one is the refinement stage and expansion. You refine and expand. This stage, you've tested, you've gone to the market, you've gotten feedback, you know what works, what does not work, and here you are just trying to see how you can add to what works. But you see, the danger of this stage is that many builders want to start from here. They want to go big. They want to just start like this. But you see, expansion without refinement is a problem brought forward, and there's danger if you don't refine before expansion. So refine first, then expand. And here is it. As you refine and expand, you go back to the first layer, you validate, and then you ideate again and you bring it. So that's why I said it works hand in hand, and you as the builder must understand this concept very well. Now, I want us to come back to where we started from. I told you that idea without execution is nothing. I'm just trying to bring a balance. So for those who have or want to execute but don't know how to, this is the balance to it now. Always remember this. The idea you start with is often not the idea you end with. I'll repeat that. The idea you start with is not often the idea you end with. And the reason is, as you move in this sequence, you validate, you ideate, you go into sequencing, you test. As you go through this stage, your idea is going through refinement, and when it is refined, you eventually see certain things that you didn't add at the ideation stage that you need to add, and certain things you need to take out even when you get to the sequencing and validation and even testing stage. You see that now. Again, ideas are refined on the table of execution. Always remember this. Ideas are refined at the table of execution. So here the question is not, is my idea good enough for execution? No. What you're doing here is to ask, am I ready to allow am I ready to allow execution do what execution can do? So even as I bring this to a close, this is what I want you to take home. I want you to ask yourself, I want you to look at it this way, that execution is not a black and white thing. It's not a switch that you just put on and put off. It is an architecture. It is a blueprint. It is a framework that you go over, go up, down, and until it is better refined. You don't stop executing. Now it is time to build. Therefore, build. And I hope to see you in the next episode of Transformation with Kola Johnson. Hope it's been a very wonderful time with me so far. So see you on the next one. Thank you for staying around. Thank you.